Welcome to Garden-Wise Adventures. My name is Malie. It's the first week in June and I live in Utah Zone 6/7, and I'm going to show you what bloomed in my Water-Wise landscape in May and show you what's blooming right now the first week in June. Now, like I like to do in my What's Blooming videos, I like to show you what you missed in the month of May, and then we'll take you through what's blooming right now. So let's see what you missed. So now that you've seen what you've missed, let's look and see what's blooming right now. So we're here on the south side of my yard. I've just got a little strip of land between my property and my neighbor's property that has a lot of flowers and shrubs on it. We've got my glorious weeping blue spruce. The plant right here, that's an autumn jubilee 9-bark. And then we've got our little wee one lavenders. Look how gorgeous they are. Now I love this time of year because there are so many flowers blooming and there's a lot of potential for things to come. Another thing that we have is my little mountain mist pom-pom dianthus. Now the ones I had in the front that I loved so much died back, but this one is trying and struggling to survive, so we'll see how long they last. We've got some lilies that are just about ready to bloom. That will be featured in my next video. We also have some butterfly bushes that will be blooming in the next video. This one's Pugster Blue. We cut it way back this spring and it's coming back all thick and nice, and we've got buds starting. We've got a really pretty little yellow geum right here. These just reseed themselves around the property, and everywhere they seed themselves they get a lot of shade, so they don't really do as well as they should. But we do get little pops of color. My hardy hydrangea is starting to come out. This one is a little bit later than the other ones because it's in deeper shade. And we've got the first blooms on my hypericum. This is a St. John's wort, and I'll put the name, I think it's Magical Midnight something. I'll put the name on the screen. But I love this one because you get the yellow blooms, red seed pods, and the wonderful leaf color all together, and it's an absolutely gorgeous plant. I love this plant. We're already past the bloom on my Glow Girl Spirea, but the chartreuse color is shining against my Little Devil 9-bark. My Atropuparium, I can't say it anyway, my little drumstick alliums are done, and now I've got the white alliums. These are ping pong alliums. They're going to be white and they're getting ready to bloom. They're taking their sweet time though. They've been in the bud stage for quite a long time. I can't wait until they start to bloom. The Little Devil 9-bark is just near the end of its bloom. That's what the blooms look like when they bloom. And then we're going to get some orange seed pods, which I think are really pretty. We've got some buds on my chase tree. I thought for sure it had died back this year because it took so long to start growing, but it's finally filling in. And we've got a lot of flower buds on it, so it's going to be really beautiful this year. We've got my Wild Thing Salvia that's starting to bloom. In front of it is just one of the purple sedums. Then we've got the curly leaf Artemisia that's really pretty. And behind it, and I'll get another view of it for you, but this is my Golden Falls Redbud. We have my very first lilies starting to bloom. I don't remember what these are called, but they are really cute and they are the first ones to bloom. And this is the front side of my Golden Falls Redbud. Isn't that beautiful? I absolutely love how it looks. Another one that is just barely starting to bloom is my little creeping raspberries. These don't end up forming fruit. I think they need a pollinator or something. Maybe they get too much sun, too much shade. I'm not sure what it is, but they never form fruit. But they make an excellent ground cover. These just slowly fill in. They're very drought tolerant, and the little flowers are kind of cute. My Dark Towers elderberry is blooming, and the flowers are gorgeous. Look how pretty those are. We may or may not get berries. I have another Dark Towers elderberry on the other side of my property that blooms at the same time, and these do need pollinators to bloom, but they need pollinators of a different variety, and I don't know if they're different varieties. There's Dark Towers, and then the other variety is, I'll have to put the name on the screen because I can't remember, but even if they don't form berries, the flowers are gorgeous. My catmint is blooming beautifully, and it's going to bloom all the way through the end of the year. Sometimes I cut it back and sometimes I don't. I think this year I probably won't If you don't, you get the open center like that, but it quickly fills in with new growth, and then, you know, in about 2 weeks we're not going to be able to tell that it had an open center. And all of the outside flowers just continue to stay this blue color, and it's gorgeous through the whole season, even if you don't cut it back. Another thing that's blooming are my hens and chicks. I've got so many different varieties and I love them. The one sad part is this bloom means that one of those larger hens and chicks is going to die off, but we've got all the babies around the outside edge, so it should be okay. And this is what my front yard looks like right now. All the lavender is gloriously blooming. This is the time of year for lavender. We've also got my little sundancer daisies that are blooming, and these will also bloom the entire rest of the season. They start blooming May, sometimes early as April, and just continue to bloom. The last video that I did was my plant of the week, and that was on partridge feather. And this is the bloom on the partridge feather. They're such sweet little plants. They're beautiful plants the entire year round. These are more of my alliums. We've only got a couple of the little white pom-poms that are getting ready to bloom on this side, and a couple of more over here. But the seed pods are interesting. I think I'm going to leave the seed pods up for a little while. And then through here we don't have a lot of bloom, but we have the texture and color. The texture and color of the sedums, the grasses. We've got the drops of Jupiter oregano back there. We've got some feather reed grass in the back that adds texture. And then the lavender. On this side we have a little more bloom. We've got lavender, we've got catmint. Let me show you over here. This one's a really fun one. I didn't realize how ornamental this was going to be. Although I grew them in California, I just never considered it ornamental. But look at all the flowers, and the sun is making them shine weird. Maybe I can get some shadow on them. But look at all of the pomegranate flowers. That one right there is a pomegranate that is going to form fruit. And then we've got the little ones that are male pomegranates that are pollinating the female flowers. So this is another male one. That one that's swollen at the base is the female. This is another little devil nine bark that's done flowering, but isn't that gorgeous? Up next to my lavender. I think most of my lavender are Munstead. They're seedlings from a plant that I had years and years ago. I just let them drop their seed, and then when they get too big for me, I just dig them up and replant the seedlings, and I'll show you the seedlings in a minute. The yellow one back there is a yarrow, and then we've got a little butterfly weed. This one is absolutely gorgeous. Look at the color on that. This one's in more shade so you can see the color a little bit better. But next to the yellow of the yarrow and the purple of the lavender, it's absolutely gorgeous. So over here is my next crop of lavender that I'm going to plant. So I like to keep around 6 of them, and I have about, let's see, if I count up underneath this lavender bush here, I have about 6 replacements to dig out. Maybe I'll do that next year. These are starting to get kind of large and a little bit woody on the inside. And when they do that and start to split like that, it's time to replace them with the little babies, and they grow quite quickly and fill in really nicely. This right here is a penstemon. This little penstemon is rock candy penstemon. It's seen better days. I just cut all the foliage back from my bulbs and it was being drowned by bulb foliage. Let me show you one that looks a little bit better. So this is another rock candy penstemon. Its blooms are just about done, and it seems like they're a biennial. What I need to do is just leave the flower heads and not cut them back and let them drop seed so that we can have ever-growing patches of these. I just barely learned that they're biennial. That means they grow and flower the one year and then die back the next year. Now this is a different one. I'll show you a picture of one from my mother-in-law. This is a cutting from my mother-in-law. But this is a fuchsia, a Cape fuchsia. It's perennial from zone 7 to 10. And they flower most of the season. And they are a little hardier than your regular fuchsia. But I'll show you the picture of my mother-in-law's, and they can be absolutely gorgeous. This one is struggling a little bit to flower, I think, because it is in a little bit more shade than it should be. Now, I did a video a little earlier showing how I planted up this green stalk, but I just wanted to show you it is filling in nicely. The hummingbirds have been using it regularly and loving it, and I love it too. This is a nice little patch of reseeded alyssum. I like to use it as a ground cover. Normally I go and buy some dark purple ones at the store, but I just didn't do that this year, so we've got mainly the reseeded white. And amongst that, we have our pine leaf penstemon. Now, I found out that these can also be a very short-lived perennial, so I may need to let these reseed so that I can have a continued patch of them. And right next to that is this gorgeous sedum. This was a gift. I can't remember the name, but it's something banana. But it's got gorgeous, gorgeous color to it. Right here we have my showy milkweed. Showy milkweed is the bane of my existence. Once you have it, it's everywhere. I've been weeding it as far away as up near my fence and all the way through this flower bed, but I think it's worth it for the monarch butterflies. Now I'm going to show you a picture. I haven't found any monarch butterfly eggs on this yet, but I did find a little lacewing, and the bees tend to love this. So it is worth having, even though it's a pain, and it is really pretty. This time of year, I just always make sure to cut back the seed pods so it doesn't reseed itself everywhere. The reason it's growing so much into the rest of my flower beds is it also grows by runners, root runners, and it's just the way it's going to be. So we'll try and control it and keep it for the monarchs. And then the other color and texture that I love is the Mexican feathergrass. They're just barely starting to get their seed heads. The seed heads are a mess and a pain. I actually use a rake and rake through them to get them all off when they're done. But they are just a gorgeous grass. I absolutely love it. And we have a little bit of color left on this salvia. This is the Maynite salvia. It reseeds itself quite often, but I try to control that by cutting it back. And if you cut them back, you can get it to rebloom. I've been able to get mine to rebloom at least 3 times throughout the year. So that's what's blooming in my water efficient landscape now, but we're just getting started. Next month, there's going to be so much more. We're going to have the lilies. The lilies are just getting ready to get started. We've got the zauschneria, which is hummingbird trumpet. We've got agastache, which is hummingbird mint. The coneflowers have buds on them. We're getting buds on my black-eyed Susans. There's just so much that's to come. And even into the fall, we're going to have the sedums blooming. So look forward to the next month's video on what's blooming in my water-wise landscape. And until then, I hope you have a wonderful garden-wise adventure.